Hello. Hello, you. Yes, you. How are we all doing? Great to see you. I'll give you that look again. You ready? Yes, you. I see you. Welcome back to the stream, everyone. We are back for a new week. It's a new week. It's a very interesting time in the market. Yes, I am fascinated to see what we've got coming up. We will take, obviously, an in-depth look at it. Anuj, you were always first, you mate. You're always first. I'm fed up with the chop, mate. We've only just started chopping, really. No, to be fair, we have been chopping for a while, haven't we? What it feels like, anyway. Not been chopping that long, actually, have we, Short Video Guru? We've only been chopping for about a month and a little bit. John, how we doing? Delanium, we got all the crew in today. Wow. The whole crew's in here. Marios, great to see you back, mate. Yeah, John, can we go back up now? I think we might be, I think we might be. Yeah, do make sure you give that like button. Go and give it a tickle. You see that button down there that looks like that? Go and give it a little tickle. Just tickle it with your finger, just once. That'll do it. So just go and give it a little tickle like that. Just tickle it. And yeah, make sure you get your likes in. Good morning, Marios. Red market. Yeah, super red market. Put that snood back on. No, yeah. I take the snood off and the bear market hits. We've had up only since I started streaming in, I think it was October, weren't it, last year, or November. We've just had up only since. And I've took the snood off and we've all gone to crap. Afternoon discipline, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. Annoying market. I think well, I've got an interesting view on the market. We'll have a look. Yes, crypto disciplines, how we doing? Yeah, good afternoon, mate. Good afternoon. But yeah, I think the market is rather interesting at this point. Hang on. For some reason, the sensitivity on my mouse is just like shot up, and I can't mouse settings. Yeah, it feels like the sensitivity on it is just like shot up. Yeah, there we go. That's better. I couldn't even track it across the screen, really. But yeah, we'll obviously have a good in-depth look at it. Stonksy is called, I believe, all three drops now on the 5 minute perfectly with the double confirmation, which is something. Now, we are long on the stream account, which is a little bit underwater, which has been the case pretty much since Thursday. Unfortunately, I've not been the best with these entries, but I do believe we could at least see a dead cat bounce if it's not going to be a full market reversal from this point onwards. I mean, yeah, we'll have to just wait and see, won't we? But I am trying to play the reversal here, which would be good. Now, do remember that nothing in this stream today is financial advice. Do make sure you obviously read the disclaimer if you need some more information on that. But yes, do remember that. Good morning, Dread. How we doing? Hopefully we get a pump on US Opens. Well, if the ETFs want to buy cheap, then I suppose this is it. You need a gaming setup. Do you think? Low frequency bot is long since 114. What an entry. So about here, innit? Yeah, about there. What an entry. Better than mine. That's about $500 better than mine. But yeah, obviously, I mean, where to start? We pretty much just consolidated, didn't we, over the weekend? We just consolidated over the weekend. We did even obviously get a little pump up, didn't we, into yesterday? I was actually long from... Where was I long from? I think it was about here, like 117,400-ish. And when I was out yesterday, I had a little, obviously, look on my BLOFIN, and I said, oh, price was up here. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's looking good. And then, obviously, did end up getting tucked out at break-even on the route down. Obviously, Stonksy just nailing it. Unfortunately, when I was out last night, the reason I didn't stream was I got back later than anticipated. So I didn't check the market at all. So I didn't see the Stonksy red double confirmation come in, and then obviously just when Asia market opened, it was just absolutely brutal, weren't it? As soon as Asia market opened, it was just non-stop selling for about 4 or 5 hours, just all the way down. But the question is, have we now come down deep enough to the point of where we've kind of hit a reset in the market and we can go up? On Bitcoin, it's a little bit interesting. Obviously, if we look on the daily, daily doesn't look the best, does it? Because obviously we've had this shoot up and then just such an aggressive drop down. We've obviously, yeah, this kind of range is now eradicated, really. We kind of got a bigger range opening up. But I do believe that we could have, a potential reversal on the card. Now, remember, I'm not saying that for definite. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But I do believe, especially if we look at, say, the 1 hour, the 1 hour, we have been trading in that outer channel the whole time. We've kind of rounded off now. And I do like this candle, this hammer that we put in a couple of hours ago. I do like that for a potential bottom. I'm just liking it for a reversal from here. How high, we'll have to see. But I am liking it for a reversal. Hence, I'm playing, obviously, the upside. Now, Ethereum is actually a lot more interesting, I think, than Bitcoin because of the ferocious just nature that we've had on driving up the price. So we've just had obviously just non-stop rallying since, obviously previous to that we've come up quite a bit, haven't we? But particularly since like the start of August, we just had about 10 days of non-stop rallying, which in the end price has to come down. Now we have liquidated pretty hard on ETH, but if you notice, we obviously have entered the zone of where the origin of the breakout came from. So obviously we consolidated, and then bang, there's the origin. So we've tested that point. We have also, tested this area here, kind of, not completely, but I do like where it's came into. Now, for this could be just a very simple liquidation before we obviously go on up because of how far and how high it's gone up in pretty much just a straight line. I do think it looks quite good for ETH having had this liquidation. Now, while most people probably wouldn't agree with me, and they would probably say, no, F you, up only, no pullbacks, bull market, give me green only. It's still not how it works. Even in bull market, if we went and had a look at the last one, which we could do if you guys want, you will see pullbacks like this. You'll see aggressive drops. You'll see liquidation events because you need to come wipe out open interest, come and obviously take out longs, cause them some pain before you can get a return to the trend. Now, obviously at this point on ETH, we have pulled back just under 12%, which I think is quite a good pullback for now. Like I said, we've come into this area now. What I would obviously be mindful of is we do obviously have still liquidations to run. We've still got these lows to run here, and obviously there's a couple of equal lows here. So we still could obviously run a bit lower, given that there's still lows to clean up here. And we do have this, which is a CME gap. If you're wondering what this is on the chart, this is a CME gap. I think this is a CME gap. Let me check. Yeah. Let me just check that goes on to 4185. Yeah. So this is a CME gap. Oh no, sorry. No, telling a lie. Let me get rid of that. This is the CME gap. Yeah, this is the CME gap here. Apologies. This is the CME gap. So yeah, I think the pullback has been quite healthy so far. I don't think it's anything overly bad. I mean, even on Bitcoin, if we push all the way back up towards 118k, we're not even that far away from going back up there. And I think it's just because of the velocity that we've sold off that people get a bit spooked. Reversal is coming. Did some long entries, says Delanium. Hello, Nick. How we doing, mate? Easy, Dave. How goes it? Yes, Rim. Remain. How we doing? Got a sniper entry. Oh, mate, what an entry that is. That is glorious. How nice. Trump had Putin meeting this weekend. Today's meeting with Zelensky. Could be good news. I think there's quite a few over there as well. I think there's quite a few presidents or prime ministers, whatever, that are over there. Chainlink killing it. Will be the next one to do an ETH pump. I think it's already started, really, hasn't it? You can clearly see weekends now off a low volume movement. What was interesting is that last weekend we actually had kind of the front run, didn't we? If we look at ETH last weekend, we just had I'm pretty sure it was last weekend, wasn't it? No, I stand corrected. It wasn't. I thought we had a little run up. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, obviously not the weekend just gone, the one before. We started to run up on this Saturday, didn't we? Here, so we started the Saturday around here, and we started to run. We ran up quite decently. We ran up about 10%. Obviously, come Sunday up here, nearly 10% ish. Give or take. So that was good on ETH, but yeah, particularly on Bitcoin, we don't really see much, do we, on a weekend now? Again, just checking. No, yes, to be fair, that was the Saturday. Yeah, we had a little impulse move, didn't we? And then, yeah, Sunday we did get a bit more. We got more volatility last week than we did. I mean, it's not a great deal, is it? That's like just 2K or something. On ETH, the weekend before was great. But yeah, I think it's looking interesting, particularly from the standpoint that we've come out into the outer channel, which obviously, we look for exhaustion there. We've re-entered the inner channel. I do think it's primed for at least, coming and looking at taking out some late shorts and obviously providing a bit of a squeeze. CME got closed. Yes. Bitcoin CME got closed. I don't know where it is on ETH. ETH's much lower. ETH's much lower as we covered. I don't know if it's got another one now. Yeah, so ETH is much lower. ETH is about $300 lower. But we didn't leave one behind, did we? We've not left one behind this week. Obviously, we just had the open, and it just chose complete violence. I do think there was a small one, wasn't there? Was it this one here? Yeah, it was that tiny one there, wasn't there? That was open. So it did actually close that as well, that small one. But I mean, yeah, potentially, the setting is there now to run this back up hard for this week. Now, that could mean a few things. Potentially, if we got to lower the weekend early, we could do. Is this just a liquidation / fake out? Just clearing, obviously, the path to the downside so we can reverse back upwards and maybe test new highs. And thirdly, it was just kind of a reckoning, weren't it? I mean, longs have had it pretty good, haven't they? Longs have had it pretty good. Well, last time we saw a big sell-off like this, I mean, yeah, it was there, wasn't it? So it wasn't actually that long ago. But this was obviously expected to come and fill this gap. Obviously we'd been trading in here and we'd left this, void here. So that was kind of expected on the market. This one potentially is just, liquidity clearance. Now, what I will say is this kind of 115K level is quite important. Personally, I wouldn't want to see price go below here, or I think we could come down and clear these lows and maybe come in towards 110, maybe even into 109, 108. I think we could maybe come in, obviously retest this demand down here though, for sure, if we drop below 115, which isn't that far, it's only a couple of K, but we'd rather not. We had sideways last weekend. We didn't. We had up. The weekend before we had up, look. Oh no! Or was that the weekend? Was that the weekend before the weekend? Hang on. Maybe I'm getting confused here. No, yeah, look. On Saturday the 9th. Yeah, which was the Saturday before the one just gone. We started off ETH at 4K there, bang. And we did pump to 4.3K, so that's like an 8% pump on that Saturday, didn't we? And then on the Sunday we kind of cooled off a bit, but the Saturday was good for ETH, and I think on Bitcoin as well we got a little bit of a rise, didn't we? Yeah, but that came on the Sunday. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't anything great. It was like a 2K pop, weren't it? But more movement than we got this weekend. Pardon me. What Bitcoin and ETH stocks will do? I mean, well, we can have a look to see what the pricing in pre-market. MSTR is down, not loads. It is down just over 2%. Now, MicroStrategy actually bought, didn't they, again on the weekend? But I think what's clear now is that they haven't got that clearance to buy and to borrow more money, basically, because MicroStrategy has actually been down quite a bit compared to Bitcoin. You know, they bought 51.4 million yesterday, which by their standards obviously isn't a lot. Which I think it's now clear that they're struggling to obviously raise more money and borrow more money. They're still buying with whatever bits of cash they've got. You know, 50 million is obviously a lot of cash, but to their standards, 46 billion they've done so far is obviously a drop in the ocean. So I think what's clear is obviously MicroStrategy is struggling to raise more money now, because if you have a look, obviously, even before Bitcoin started selling off, come the middle of July, after Bitcoin got its pump up to all-time high, we have dropped over 20% on MSTR. So that has been selling off the whole time Bitcoin has basically been holding just sideways. So there's something going on there, obviously, with MSTR and Bitcoin. The relationship between them both is obviously off, and MicroStrategy is taking a hit for that. Coinbase is down $7 pre-market, which I don't think is that bad. Circle is down $2. Obviously, Circle dropped quite a bit on Friday and then bounced back up towards the close. What other stocks have we got? Let's go and see. So we have, I suppose, Robinhood. You can't really put it as a crypto stock, but you can relate it somewhat. That's down a little bit. Tron is just hanging around. I think obviously Tron has stayed strong, hasn't it? TRX, I think. SBET was down 15% on the weekend and isn't down a great lot. Now, these are the Ethereum buyers. So these are the Ethereum buyer guys. UPXI is the Solana guys. So these are the ones that stacked up on Solana. Again, not down massively. And then we have a couple of others. I can't remember what all of them are. Obviously, this is Tom Lee's company. The really bullish guy that's on CNBC quite a lot. That had a great pump. That done like 2x in like a week, 2.5x in like a week. Down a little bit, but yeah, all in all, they're not looking. I don't think crypto-related stocks are down that bad, really. But I mean, ideally, obviously, we would see a reversal on Bitcoin today. Will Zelensky start arguing? I have no idea. Yeah, I'm not an expert on politics and international geopolitical wars and stuff like that. I don't know. I wouldn't like to say. I mean, yeah, I don't know what the chances are of what's going to come of this meeting today and all that jazz. I have no idea. So I wouldn't like to pretend to know to you, to be honest, Sean. Yeah. I mean, really, the ideal thing, I suppose you can just say, is peace. In whatever form that comes. It's likely probably that both parties will have to meet in the middle. Whether they will or not is a different thing. But really, the loss of human life is the most important thing to be stopped, isn't it? Dutch crypto firm Amdax planning on launching a Bitcoin treasury and buying 1% of the supply. I did see that actually coding on the timeline before. Yeah, I did see it on the timeline. Here it is. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, that is Mr. Saylor. Where did I see it? Crazy. Where did I see it? I saw it. Anyway, I saw it on the timeline before. Yeah. So, yeah, that's obviously an interesting announcement, isn't it? I mean, buying 1% of the supply from here would cost, obviously factoring in pumping the market too. So 1% is obviously 210,000 Bitcoin, isn't it? MicroStrategy has got roughly 3 times that for 46 billion. But obviously their average entry is much lower. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much it'll cost, because you got to factor in obviously how much they pump the market to. A lot of money though, I suppose we could say a lot of money. Definitely, maybe 10, 20 billion, something. I have no idea. Took some L's on this move. It's part of the thing. It's part of the game, innit? That's it. That's the best attitude to have, short video guru. You know, you just take it on the chin. Can't do anything. If we could all apply for a refund, I'm sure we would, but we can't. So you've just got to take it on the chin, haven't you, and just go to the next trade. Now, what I will say is, when you get moves like this, where we're just slowly like stepping down, people end up just giving up. So obviously we had, you know, the tip over all-time high and then the drop, didn't we? This was an aggressive drop. I got caught out on this on stream, but then, you know, we obviously dropped all the way down, leveled off, and then pumped. And then we dropped down again, lower, leveled off, obviously over the weekend, consolidation, and then we've dropped down again. So we've had kind of like a step down, haven't we? Now, what happens is probably most people, you know, maybe along the dip here, get wiped out. Along the dip here, either maybe take some profits and make some back or whatever, or get taken out again. Along the dip here, get taken out. And then obviously at some point, they'll reach a point where people won't re-enter longs because they think, this is going down further, and then it'll pump. And then what you'll have is people obviously chasing the move. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know, it's obviously at some point it will catch a bounce. Hopefully this is it, but MSTR bought 51 million. Yeah, he was selling shares to buy Bitcoin. Well, the thing is, he can't raise any more money, I don't think, can he? Because of how much MicroStrategy has come down, the MSTR price, that is. $23 billion plus. Yeah. And then you've got to account for the market pump from that as well, haven't you? So I'm guessing that's like what it would cost right now. But if you just started market buying 23 billion here, that's not going to get you that much, is it? Because you'll end up pumping the market. And obviously, you know, we see with Salem himself, very responsible in helping Bitcoin with its move up, the amount of buys he's done and stuff. So yeah, maybe you could factor another 20-30% or something on top of that. I don't know. Could come down as well, couldn't it? Could come down, I suppose. You know, every 10% it drops is 10% off the cost to get that. So yeah, please do make sure as well you tickle that follow button. I seen a guy on TikTok saying that. He says tickle the follow button. So he says tickle the like button. Sorry. Says, oh no, what does he say? I think he says tickle the follow button. So I'm gonna say tickle the like button. Make sure you give it a little tickle there. Go on, just give it a little tickle. Yeah, please do make sure you tickle that like button. And yeah, let's see how many we're on. 13. That's good going. How long do you think until that MSTR strategy completely full on FTX unwinds, or will it? Oh, I think there's a really big risk to the market over the next like 2 years or so. Whenever momentum falls off, you got to remember as well is that they're single-handedly, alongside, you know, other companies like Metaplanet, there it is, and obviously other companies that have been buying. You know, if you look at the amount of Bitcoin Sailor has absorbed and bought off the market, that obviously is removed from the sell side order book. You know, they've bought an astronomical amount of Bitcoin, haven't they? So I don't think, you know, it's not really far-fetched to say a lot of this market is propped up now by obviously the ETFs, yeah, but obviously, you know, public companies. There you go, Metaplanet again, acquiring 93 million at 120k, so obviously a lot higher. These companies that just keep buying and buying and buying. Now, obviously, when they can't raise any more money, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Does kind of the music stop there? We're nearly approaching my entry on this, which will be nice. Definitely going to hold this though, because when you zoom out, even though the entry's not great, no, obviously it would be great to have it down at like 115k or below. When you zoom out, the difference between there and there might be marginal if we start pumping. As you can see, I've got the take profit at 120k. I believe that would be quite good mean reversion play. But yeah, I think when these companies aren't able to keep buying, I think then it would be quite interesting, because yeah, like you say, you know, the unwind on it could potentially be quite nasty when they have to start paying some of this money back. And if Bitcoin isn't, say, in necessarily a good place, reflects onto the stock price, obviously not in a good place, it could get quite messy, couldn't it? But I don't know. Yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, they survived last time, didn't they? You know, they survived last time. They had about a 50% drawdown last time. But what I would say with that is last time, when Bitcoin obviously went down to like 15, 16K, there was in like a 50% drawdown because I think their average buy was like 30K or 32K or something. But they had nowhere near, obviously, the amount of money borrowed that they do now. Nowhere near. But you got to remember, he's still got plenty of room on his average entry, hasn't he? You know, he's still got, I think their average entry is like 73, 74K. So they are still up, but they're never going to take profit, which is kind of like the weird thing in it. So they are still like 55-ish% up, but they're never going to take profit, and they can't really, because one, they would obviously send the price down, which then directly, you know, dilutes how much their Bitcoin is worth. And, you know, as soon as they announce they've sold Bitcoin, unless it's for the tax reasons that they did a couple of years ago, it's going to cause a bit of a shockwave. So yeah, I'm fascinated to see how it plays out. I mean, when this money is owed that they borrowed, if they can't satisfy them with giving them more shares or raise more money to pay off that debt, then what did he do? I think it's going to be interesting. Now, we have had, if you look actually on the 1 hour, a bullish arrow come in not too long ago in on this dip. Now, if you look, we did have a bearish arrow come in right at the top, basically. Yeah, on this candle here, the one before the peak. So I'm pretty upbeat by that, actually. That's good to see. What do you think? What do you think will happen, Jeff? What do you think will happen over the next few years? I think ultimately it depends how high Bitcoin can go before the bear market starts. And you will have people saying there won't ever be another bear market and stuff like that. I don't believe that. I think there will definitely be another bear market, in my opinion, anyway. Again, not financial advice, but I think there will be another bear market. So how does it handle that? Now, say if Bitcoin pumps to like 130, 140, 150K, they've obviously then got a lot of room to take drawdown before they even get back to break even, haven't they? But I think obviously the main concern for them is probably the stock price, because it is basically just like a leveraged ETF now, MicroStrategy. Obviously, Bitcoin is down 7%. MSTR is down 20-odd% and started to move down before Bitcoin. So it's kind of like it's playing it out beforehand. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Those bullish and bearish arrows on you in Stonksy. The oscillator ones, yes. Yeah, obviously the ones on the indicator itself have been out for a good while now. I think they came in late last year or early this year. So been out a while. But these ones came in the latest oscillator update, which, don't quote me on, was I think about 2 months ago-ish, maybe. But yeah, really good. I did actually do a video on them, Delanium, because I went back and had a look, obviously, in a video on the previous ones. Let me find it for you. I think it was there's this one. This oscillator update, new features explained. I'm sure that was the one where I went back and had a look at the arrows. But yeah, I mean, when these come in, looks pretty good. I mean, we had another one come in here, if you see, you know, before we went on to print that high, and then that, you know, price tumbled all the way back down there. So that came in at like 122K. Price came down to 118. That one came in at like 123.5. Obviously, we know where we're at now. This one came in and obviously didn't, you know, that wasn't profitable. But you have them. We then got a bullish arrow on the 25th of July, and price went from 15K-ish up to just below 20 there a few days later. So that's what's that? That's like 4 out of 5 that we've looked at that have hit so far. Obviously, we had this one, which came in at the start of July. That didn't work out because Bitcoin was in that uptrend then. We then had another one. Obviously, that didn't work out. So, I mean, I suppose it's got to do with, outlining, of course, what type of trend we're in as well. I mean, that was just a relentless non-stop pump, weren't it? So, yeah, I mean, any shorting getting in the way of that is obviously going to get blown out. But all in all, very, very good. And yeah, I'm keen to see obviously where price goes now. Note it, you just make a note of it. Let's see. If you don't have the indicator, just make a note of it now. So Monday, 18th of August, 7 o'clock in the morning, oscillator gave a green arrow. Let's see where we are come Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and let's see if it does it again. I'm not sure if we have a traditional bear market can see a slow time-based. Well, the thing that we know is, Jeff, is that Bitcoin doesn't do anything fast now, does it? Like, we do get these short bursts of volatility, but the bigger moves take ages and ages to brew, don't they? So really, when you look at it on the weekly, from wherever we end up topping out potentially, we could just do the same going down. So let's just say, for argument's sake, because we could draw a nice picture, let's just say, for argument's sake, we go up one more time, and then we consolidate, and then we come down, and then we come up, and then we consolidate, and then we come down. We could just do the same thing, couldn't we? As we've done going up, and it's just consolidation, bang, consolidation, bang, like we've had on all the way up. Consolidation, bang, consolidation, bang, consolidation, bang. Could just do the same thing, and it just takes a lot longer, which would make sense because obviously that is what gold does. It takes it takes a lot longer to do these bigger moves. So we could see it play out over 2-3 years potentially. Company goes down will be a cascade. Oh yeah, I'll take a look for sure. Yes, Delaney, yeah, please do, mate. Yeah, but let me know your thoughts in the chat. Where does everyone think we're going from here? Obviously, I'll get the I may as well get the poll up now. But where do you think we're going from here? Do let me know. I mean, it's hard to see, not at least taking out some of this shorting, isn't it? Like, we could technically just unwind all the way down, but I don't know. I mean, why give everyone a perfect entry? You know what I mean? Not a clue. If I had to guess, I'd always say up. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think that's the sensible. You wouldn't be shorting here, would you? Let's be honest. I mean, you've missed the whole move down. You wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to short here personally, anyway. I don't know if anyone, maybe you are, but I wouldn't want to short this. No, not after this. Not after this move down. The risk reward isn't for shorting here, surely, in my opinion. In my non-financial opinion, my non-financial advice opinion is that the risk reward is for longs from here. So did I hear right that ETH CME got from 2 weeks ago filled? No. The Bitcoin one did. Bitcoin had a small one, didn't it? Bitcoin had this tiny one here. Like, it was puny. It was like $100 CME gap. It was tiny. That filled. But ETH's is still open. So ETH's is obviously much lower. Now you've got to account for the fact that actually there's not really much of a premium on CME for ETH, unlike Bitcoin. So yeah, but that goes all the way down to 4,081. So that's still open, as you can see. We created the gap here. We filled some of it on this dip that we got on Monday the 11th, last Monday. But yeah, we've still got that open. Now, that could just be a big, massive tease, couldn't it? People may be waiting for the CME gap to fill. And then, you know, if price starts reversing, they'll have to chase the move then. We could see something like that. I'm keen to see what happens. I mean, I'm long and strong from here, so we'll see. Long on Solana XRP, says Short Video Guru. Save with crypto, yes. Dump is over until Zelensky tells Trump to do one. I mean, I'd be fascinated if the market is smarter than that, surely. I think the market is smarter than anticipating that there's just going to be sudden peace. I think the market is smarter than that. I don't think the market is pricing in a ceasefire or the war being over at all, in my opinion. Because, you know, we as just adults can sit in, who aren't involved in politics and stuff, can sit here and say it's probably quite a tricky deal to get Putin or Zelensky to roll over and be the one that takes the L or has to sacrifice. So I would assume that the market is probably pricing that in too. And especially for the fact that he's taking his gang with him, innit? You know, I think Starmer's over there. I think there's maybe a couple of other European leaders. It's like almost like he's taking his European Union gang with him to say, oh, no, we can't bow down to Putin. So I'd be shocked if the market was pricing in that in and then rolls over. When is the meeting? I don't even know if it's like, it's not scheduled on FX Street, so I don't know, in all honesty. No idea. So I think today at some point, I think. I'm long today, says BPN. The Mega Bear. The Mega Bear is long. BPN, did you print to the downside? How did you print? Yeah, and it won't be that easy to get ceasefire. No, I don't think so. Trump doesn't respect Starmer, so I'm not worried. Yeah, well, I don't blame him. I think you can kind of tell by the last meeting between them two exactly probably what Trump thinks of Starmer. Yeah. I think you can probably tell. I mean, really, respect is earned, not given, innit? You know, that's a good saying. Respect is earned, not given. And, you know, has he earned the respect of anyone, really? Suppose that's up for, you know, individual opinion, isn't it? But yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens today. I don't know the time of the meeting. So I suppose we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see maybe when we start getting some headlines or announcements or whatever. The UK needs Trump to free Britannia. Yeah, man. Yeah, if only, eh? If only. If only. That would be nice. Cousin Vinny. Hello to Cousin Vinny. Can you VPN to BLOFIN? To my knowledge, you should be able to use it really most places that you are. I mean, they serve UK customers. I don't know where you are, Vinny, but if you're asking, do they have a geo blocker on? No, so you can use a VPN if you want to. But obviously, depending on where you are, you might not have an issue just using it anyway. It is non-KYC. Yeah, it's non-KYC. You can find a link in the description to sign up to BLOFIN. It's non-KYC, but you can KYC if you want to as well. It's up to you. But yeah, they don't have any restrictions on non-KYC accounts. But you can also KYC if obviously you want to upgrade your limits. Yeah, you can find all that out. But yeah, use the link in the description, and of course, you get yourself some great welcome bonuses. Yeah, there you go. Disciples has answered your question for you. It's actually gave the figures. It's up to 20k withdrawals without KYC. Yeah. So yeah, it's not you're not mandatory. You're not mandatory to do it. You can create one with just an email. Yeah, I really like BLOFIN. Really like BLOFIN, and I like it even more the fact that we're coming into break even on this trade. So let's see. I mean, not the best entry, obviously, considering the price action we've had since this morning, but coming back to it maybe later on today, tomorrow, maybe later in the week. Will the difference of a couple of $100 really matter if we end up, especially if we end up at the mat take profit? That'd be great. Tell you what, if we end up at my take profit, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this trade open to either stop loss or close to take profit. If we get to like 119.5k, I think it'll be difficult, especially if we come and clear all this out here. If we get up to around here, it'd be hard to not take it off the table. But if we do get up to there and we don't get stopped out, how about we do a giveaway on stream this week? Because if that happens, I have the same trade pretty much open on my personal account, and the take profit will be the take profit would be multiples of obviously what this is. So I would have a very decent week on Friday. I'd have a very big smile on my face. So if we do hit that take profit or get close to it, let's say 119k, around that figure, then we will do a giveaway on stream this week. So there you go. So if anyone's got a couple of billion to walk the price up to get it there, then go and do me a favor. But Cousin Vinny, yeah, no worries, mate. Make sure you do subscribe. I don't think I've seen you in before. Please do drop a sub. It'd be great to have you around more often. Crypto Disciple says, I love BLOFIN. The UI is so user-friendly. Yeah, I really like the interface. The interface is fantastic. So easy as well. Never had any issues with it whatsoever. It's just all round a brilliant exchange. Yeah, you guys let me know what you'd like me to look at. Please do, if you haven't already, make sure you give that like button a little tickle. That is my new phrase now. Tickle that like button. We've got 30 viewers, 16 likes. Go and just give it a little tickle to the point where it goes white, I believe. Maybe it goes black, depending on obviously if you've got light or dark mode on YouTube. But make sure you do smash it, please. And yeah. It'd be great to obviously have you around. If you are new, subscribe. And of course, click them links in the description. We are partnered with BLOFIN. We're partnered with BitUnix. And of course, we still have got 35% off lifetime and annual plans. It's automatically applied at checkout. So 35% off annual. 35% off lifetime, this one. 35% off annual. And obviously, they do, as you would expect, lifetime access, 1 year access. They're also applied at checkout, or if you do want to come and try it for a month, there is code BOT20 on this one here to get access to that. You do need to put the code in on the monthly one. The other two are automatically applied. So yeah, it'd be great to have you around, especially in the Discord. First time here, I'm sub now, and of course I hit the like. Yes, Cousin Vinny, love that. Love that. Well, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. It's great to have you here. And anyone else that's new around here or obviously is a returning viewer, which obviously most of you, I'm guessing, are. Thank you for your support. It's great to put on this show for you every day. And of course, do remember that nothing in today's show is financial advice. It is purely educational and discussion based. Yeah, do bear that in mind. But you guys are absolutely steamrolling the vote. So the vote currently is 92% for the direction to be up on US market open. So we are expecting a absolute smash to the upside, it seems. And yeah, I wouldn't bet against it. I think, we could get some ferocious buying on open if the ETFs obviously come in with some big inflows today. We're nearly there. Nearly back to entry, and then hopefully this is all put in as the low, and then we can go up then. Let's see. Let me tell you, this was getting hairy before I was sat there watching it, and I was just there like, oh no, and I survived. I'm a survivor. I survived by about $80, and look where we are now. So I didn't get took out before the reversal, but it is starting to walk up leading into the open. So yeah, can we get a big rally up? ETH, like I mentioned, is ETH Bitcoin coming back for some? Yeah, ETH Bitcoin. Not actually lost really that much value on ETH Bitcoin, have we? Not really. And that is obviously having a good old hourly reversal, led obviously into the ETH price shooting up. What else have we got? We've got XRP. I assume that most altcoins have put in the same pattern. If we look across the board, I assume most of them are looking rather the same. Obviously, drop, consolidation over the weekend / a bit of an uptrend. As you can see, Sol was one of the ones that got an uptrend, but then just smashed down again, and then it's kind of reversing now. It's probably literally the same. We'll just flick through, obviously, a lot of them, but it's probably remotely the same on the market. Tron, we did look at. I'm interested to see when Tron fills that wick on the weekly / monthly. Litecoin caused me some dark pain last week. I don't want to talk about Litecoin. But Link obviously has come into our first area of interest now, which we did sell out from. So we did spike up yesterday. I mean, Link has just been on an absolute resurgence on it, given... it's not really been affected at all by the market drop. It's just been kind of... Obviously, we did pull back on Friday, but then Saturday into Sunday, we was just rallying non-stop. But we did pull back initially. Now, we are back within, obviously, this zone. I think if we come up from here, we could see $30 next. I mean, Link's just had some superb strength. We've got AVAX, another one, obviously, that we looked at on the stream last week. Just consolidating nicely within its current range. Sui came into one of the zones marked out on the bottom, pretty much pinpoint there around 350, 352. We obviously now need to flip SR again, but yeah, the route for Sui is quite clear. If you want me to look at anything specific, let me know. But really, like we can see, most altcoins are looking the same. And Bitcoin is starting to get a bit primed, isn't it? It's starting to get a bit primed. There we go. We're now back into the green on the trade. And can this be the first push of a reversal on Bitcoin? Let's bloody hope so, shall we? Cousin Vinny, definitely come back on Wednesday. Everything is twice as good on Wednesday. Yeah, Save with Crypto is on Wednesdays every Wednesday. Actually, he was on Friday last week, but most weeks it's every Wednesday. Yeah, do make sure you come back, Cousin Vinny, on Wednesday. Come back every day. Come back. I do have some great guests on this week. I think we might have 3 guests on in total. But yeah, we try to entertain as much as possible, alongside obviously giving some real good analysis and in-depth look at the market. Pump time says Delanium. We've got half an hour to go until US Open, haven't we? And that Paul has just been absolutely smashed with upside votes. And we've just come out and we've just come and absolutely destroyed all the stops lying above these wicks, haven't we? If you see that build up of upper wicks here, we just come and just ran a train through that. But yeah, I think now, you know, if you are taking the long stance, I think it's just about being patient in it. I think it's just about being patient, because we might not get the big green dildos to the upside like we have obviously to the downside. But what we could do this week is we could just grind back up. You know, we could obviously get a reversal today, and then maybe we might sell off a bit, but we could just grind back up throughout the week. I mean, if we did just get full on, just nuclear upside move, I would be all for it. But it might not happen. We might just get a grind up, which, you know, at the end of the day is fine as long as we're moving back up. Thanks, man. We'll do. We need a free Bitboy for a proper alt season. He's not looking good, is he? I remember Jordan tweeted about him. Jordan tweeted about him last week. Let's flick through and find him. He yeah, the guy's not looking good, is he? I can't remember what day it was. Was it maybe Friday or Thursday? Here he is. I mean, he looks like he's aged. Like, honestly, I don't know how old he is. I estimate in his 50s, maybe. But my God, he looks about 70 years old there, doesn't he? Honestly, if you shown them 2 pictures side by side, you would probably think they was a good, like, 10, 15, 20 years apart, wouldn't you? Is that even real? Is it actually real? Is that the actual thing you're of him, or is I assume it is. But I mean, yeah, it's just the guy's not looking well at all. And there we go. We are pushing back up. In his low 40s. Who is this guy? Bitboy? Oh, you must know Bitboy. You probably know him mainly from the last cycle, Delanium. If he was around last cycle. If not this cycle, you may actually not have heard of him, because it was quite the prominent figure and then kind of just fell off a bit. It was basically just a huge figure in the industry. Had one of the biggest channels, had one of the biggest daily crypto live shows, was known pretty much by everyone in the industry, and then just had a series of, I don't even know what you would call it, but had just a kind of elongated downfall, and unfortunately I think the guy is suffering quite a bit. He's currently locked up on, I don't know what he's locked up for, but I mean, the disparity between them 2 pictures is crazy. I think it looks completely just like as if it's 10, 15, 20 years apart. It's 43. Yo, bloody hell. Honestly, you wouldn't. How old would you say that guy is? You would think he was like in his 60s, maybe even like a younger looking 70s. you would never say that guy was 43, would you? In my opinion, anyway. So it's kind of sad to see because he was like one of the biggest. It was one of the biggest guys, kind of in crypto, in terms of like a figure. It's BS. He's still locked up with all the real crime out there. 60s. Yeah, you would think it. Have you heard of Chris from Crypto Revolution? No, I don't think I have. No. Oh, he's died. But he died. Yeah, this guy. Yeah. Yeah, there we have it. Anyway, but we are pumping on Bitcoin, which is good to see. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Seems like we're getting some kind of movement coming into the open, aren't we? I want to check my my own position on my account. It's good to know I'm out of the red on that now. My entry was even a little bit worse on that one. My entry was 115,490. I just woke up this morning seeing it was down there and just hit market buy, which obviously proved to be a little hairy because when we was getting down here, I was like, oh no, because I knew what was going to happen. I thought this is going to take me out and then reverse. Luckily, I stayed alive on both of them. But yeah, the entry's not got off. If I got an entry down here, I'd be laughing now. But yeah, positive attitude, could be laughing by the end of the day, the end of the week. At least we're out of the red, into the green. That's all that matters. Yeah, I think a couple of $100 difference might not end up being a lot if we end up obviously reversing. I mean, 120,000 is my kind of main point of interest. I think up here is something to watch out for because at this point we'll have completely ran obviously all the stops on this move down, and then obviously start working on this fair value gap up here, which could take us slap bang into 120k to be fair. Was one of the big he died last year or early this year. All right, well, that's a shame. What about link targets resistance? Yeah, sure. The link is actually within one of our resistance zones. Now, bear in mind, this has been marked out for months. So, obviously, it's taken a while for link to come in, and we've had pretty much the whole like key levels on it. You can look back to this one. I've not touched this chart in ages. Look back to this one. We got perfect, obviously, local top on that. But we are into my next kind of resistance / supply zone on link, which it looks like it's obviously chewing from. We did get a dip out of there, obviously, today, and it's chewing back through. So I think above here, obviously above this area, we then start heading towards $30, which would take us back into December's highs. So anywhere between 29 and 30, you could call it 29 and $31. But obviously the $30 is kind of slap bang in there. But yeah, obviously we're back into that supply zone there where we got kind of this triple top, didn't we, on the 4 hour? 1, 2, 3, and then obviously sold off. And then obviously if we start going above there, then we are heading obviously back into levels that we've not seen in many, many years. So to me, you look at the chart and you look at $34, and that looks very, very obvious why. Daily resistance, daily resistance, daily resistance, daily resistance. So that's where I'd be looking, in my personal opinion, is obviously if we move up from here, didn't mean to do that, is to them next zone, so up towards 30 and then potentially up to 34, maybe 35-ish. But yeah, it's kind of just level by level for now, though. Obviously, it needs to clear this zone, but it's looking strong. It's obviously moving well in the market, so yeah, we'll see what happens from here on. Hope that helps. jumping right into the market. I'm just going to run to the toilet and go and get another drink. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. Obviously, in the meantime, please do make sure you drop a big like on the stream if you've not subscribed. And if you're not signed up to BLOFIN or Bitunix, you can find them linked in the description. And I'll tell you now, you can create a BLOFIN account in under a minute. I've timed it a couple of times when I've done it for videos and stuff. You can actually do that. So by the time I get to the toilet and back and grab a drink, you'll have probably been able to make about 5. But yeah, do make sure you grab your BLOFIN account. It's a great exchange. And remember, nothing on this show is financial advice. We are all here for education and discussion purposes. And I'll be back in just a second. I'll leave you with the Bitcoin chart. Tell you what, while I'm gone, let's get it a bit more action-packed. Let's throw it on the 1 minute chart. So it's a bit more action-packed for you, a bit more entertainment then. And yeah, keep the discussion going in the chat. It's great to see all you guys having great discussion. And of course, if you want to ask me any questions or whatever, do get your questions in, and I'll get to them when I get back. But yeah, won't be a minute. Right, we're back. Here we go. Financially free from being in crypto on YouTube, and he ends up dying. Oh, is this guy? It's a bit of a sad story, I'm guessing. But yeah, if you do want me to look at any specific coins, let me know. We will close the poll now as well at 86%. Thank you very much for voting, those of you that have. Nah, man, keep telling. I mean, I think you and Jeff are having good discussion in the chat, aren't you? Keep it. You don't need to. You don't need to stop sharing. I followed an FX tube as well. He would trade it all for more. Yeah. Well, the thing is, the thing that you can never buy is time, innit? That's the thing. I mean, do you think all these billionaires, you know, say for instance, like, did he die? That Charlie Munger? I can't remember. Is he dead or is he still alive? But obviously, you got all them, haven't you? Like, kind of them old tycoons from the finance world, like Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett, all the older dudes. And they've got, obviously, you know, some have got hundreds of billions, some have got, you know, tens of billions and stuff. They would probably trade it all to go back to being a 25-year-old now if they could. Because what can you do with all that money when you're 80, 90 years old? Yeah, you know, you can try and enjoy it as much as you can, but you can't ever get more time, can you? Well, I suppose you can, actually. That guy, he's a cool guy, Brian Johnson, isn't he? The guy who sold Venmo. Obviously trying to basically live for as long as possible, just completely living an insane, healthy life. He is technically, I suppose, trying to buy more time, but you can't obviously buy actually being younger, as in, like, I am only this age or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, they would obviously all try and you know, they would all swap it for more time, of course. Yeah, I thought he did. I thought he died. He basically said exactly that in his last interview. Yeah, of course. I mean, you could have. Is the saying in it? Say, for instance, I don't know how old all you guys are, but let's just say, for instance, you was 25. Would you swap being 25 for being 70 and having $1 billion? Or would you swap being, say, 30 for 70 and having $1 billion? I would like to think you probably wouldn't, but, you know, maybe some of you mad ones out there wouldn't be like, oh, you know what, F it, I could have a good 10 years. But I would like to think probably a lot of you wouldn't. And would obviously choose, you know, time over money. But, I mean, yeah, some people maybe would actually swap it, but I know I certainly wouldn't. So that's the thing, innit? You can never obviously swap. You can just never. It's the one thing. It's even more precious than Bitcoin. Even Bitcoin itself can't compete with time. It's the one thing you can just never, ever, ever get back. And if they could somehow wrap it in a commodity, you know, and you could actually buy time, can you imagine the price of that? Never mind, we're talking about Bitcoin to, like, crazy valuations in 10, 20 years. That thing would literally be, you wouldn't be able to get your hands on it, would you? It would only be for the extremely, extremely, extremely wealthy. Hell yeah, I'll swap. What's the point in having loads of time if you broke, lol? I suppose, but you can be rich in other ways, can't you? You know, you can be rich in other ways, even if you. I suppose it depends on what you define as rich. Like, I suppose it depends on what you define as rich. Some people literally just want to maybe have the mortgage paid off and be able to live a nice, comfortable life. You know, maybe that's some people's goals. Other people maybe want Lambo, villa, yacht, all the juicy stuff, being able to just slap your gobber on the table wherever you go and showcase to everyone, I am rich. Not everyone wants to do that. A lot of people maybe just want to pay the mortgage off, be financially free, and be able to just live a nice, comfortable, easy life. And there's something to be said about that as well, I think. You don't always have to have a big statement and, you know, be able, you know, drive around in a Urus and stuff like that. You know, you're beating 99% of people if you're youngish, you know, say under 40, got your mortgage paid off, being able to live a nice, comfortable life, you know, do what you want. You know, maybe you work 2 days a week or something, but you've got to fill your time somehow, haven't you? But yeah, like you say, Cohen, I do agree. Being comfortable is plenty, in my opinion. Very, very true. Very, very true. That is 95% of what most people want to do. That is why they never get into crypto. Yeah. 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 That's funny. The amount of people that have tried to get in crypto, but they are just happy with the money they have and their mortgage paid off. Yeah, that's true. It's true. RSQ8 over Eurus. Well, I see a lot of people saying, like, isn't just like a Eurus and RSQ8 anyway, with just obviously a better body kit on it. I see a lot of people saying, I don't know if that's true because I'm not a massive car guy, to be honest. But I say a lot of people saying, like, a Eurus is basically an RSQ8. Is it just like it's just got a better, obviously, Lambo body kit on it or what? I don't know. I don't really know much about cars, to be honest. But we are steamrolling on Bitcoin now. Come on now. Come on, let's go. Let's get after it. Let's get after it. Let's get after these. This upside movement. Come on now. We've got 8 minutes to go until open. What's ETH doing? Keeps pushing on up. Pushing on up. It is pretty wild, isn't it, when you think about, like, kind of... ETH has literally just dropped like 11, 12%. Bitcoin has dropped to the low. Less than 8%. And it feels like just the world is over. Oh, it's so over. The top is in. Do you know the amount of people I have seen tweeting like the comparisons between the 2021 cycle top and the 24 top? This top. And to be honest, it's actually something that we covered, I think, on Friday. But it just doesn't seem like a top where everyone calls it doesn't seem like a top, does it? And look, if you're actually looking at a retrace, obviously from the all-time, from the top of this, the local top, to if this is the local bottom here on this hammer, the midpoint would actually take us to 119.5k, like I mentioned before, which turns out to be a total coincidence. But is this the golden pocket? Because I don't really look at fib retracement too much. Is this the golden pocket between 0.5 and 0.618, or is this the golden pocket between 0.618 and 786? Which one of these is the golden pocket? People always call the top two seen or have wild price predictions. Yeah. I mean, really, you should just sell when you're happy with the money, shouldn't you? And not worry about price. Like, if you've done a couple of X, or if you've done very, very well, or if you just, like, you know, that money is really, really good, who cares about price? Who cares if it could go up an extra 20, 30, 40%? You know, you can never time the tops and bottoms. I think that's really something that people miss out on, innit? Is kind of the idea that if you're happy with the money, just take it off the table. It's fine. It's honestly not that deep. Like, you don't have to worry about timing the tops and bottoms. Does anyone else do that? If they've got a hot and a cold drink, they'll have one and then go to the other. Like, I've just drank some Bimto and then gone straight for a bit of coffee. I thought it was between... Well, yeah. Let's see. the golden pocket, and 618 and 65%. That's not right, is it? There's not even an option on there for 65%, is there? Or is there? No, must be this. It must be that one. It must be the 786. Vimto. Oh, yeah, I love Vimto. Oh yeah, warm Vimto. Lovely. Jeff's running. All right, mate. Catch you later. Thanks for joining. Love you, Jeff. Have a great day, mate. It is between them two. Yeah, I thought it was. Why the markets went down so hard if these Ukraine meetings are, in my view, rather than positive signs? Because the markets just do what they want anyway. So I think, well, personally, I think if there is anything priced in for this meeting, the market will have priced it in anyway, more than likely, or a lot of it. In my view, I don't think the market's pricing in a ceasefire or like an end to the war and stuff like that, because it's very, very tricky to try and do. And I don't think there's really any signs that Putin or Zelensky are ready to kind of back down and obviously be the one to compromise. And two, sometimes the market just needs a clear out. You know, it just needs a clear out. Like, I could be wrong, but was there actually any sort of quote-unquote catalyst for this move up? I don't think there was there? I don't think there was anything that was like actively bullishly driving this. Alongside ETH, you know, this whole ETH move up, there's not really anything that's been driving this. There's not been suddenly like a change around the network for efficiency and transaction fees and stuff. It's just mostly been, I think, the fact that maybe profits have rolled into ETH, or obviously we've had huge amounts of ETF inflows into it that have probably been the main driver. Well, that's pretty much it. There's not been like kind of an actual catalyst. Sometimes the markets just move how they want to and how they need to. And there doesn't really need to be a vast explanation for it. Like on this, you know, sometimes the markets just need a pullback. We went all the way up. We've crashed down, took downside liquidity, come into what I view as a key area, and that could lead the next leg up. On ETH, we've rallied absolutely relentlessly, you know, since the start of July. Obviously rallied very, very hard in the start of August with basically no pullback on either account, really. And we've had a 11-12% pullback. But sometimes you just need these flushes out the market, clear open interest, obviously come out, take out longs, take out the longs that people are longing. Obviously, you just keep batting them down. But then, pull back and then potentially then into another expansion. Sometimes the market just needs to clear that out, clear out open interest, grab liquidity, kind of reset. Obviously, mess with people's emotions as well. And then, go from there. So in my view, that's what it is. I don't think there's really been any sort of catalyst for upside or downside on either side. Hate to say it, mate, but we need to go lower. I don't think we do, in my view. I don't think we do. Tantana, what happened to you? You used to be the ultimate Link bull. I thought you'd be coming in here saying, "Oh, Link, yes." In my view, and obviously it's not financial advice, but I don't think we need to go low for me. I think it's come into a nice region. If you look back, gotta remember. Let me get rid of this. Okay, just remove Stonksy. Hang on. I want to get rid of this box. You look back. This area was quite key SR that we've just obviously been testing. So currently, obviously, I suppose you could say we've maybe even come down to a bit more than that. Obviously, we've came back down into the origin kind of, haven't we? But wherever you want to draw it, we've come back into a key area, and we could obviously bounce. Now, you could always be right, Tantana. Something I wouldn't rule out would be like a dead cat bounce. Obviously, come back up, clear out the shorts. Come on, clear out this liquidity. Obviously, come and fill this fair value gap here. Put in a lower high somewhere. and then obviously roll over again, because we don't need to go down in a straight line, do we? We could come, put in a lower high, and then go after a lower low. But yeah, Tantana, are you still a link? Are you still a marine? You should be very happy with this link movement, I'm guessing. If you upload a screenshot of chart on ChatGPT, it put the golden pocket for you. Really, yeah. That is fascinating. I think it was better in the past than it is going forward. More chance of reinventing the time machine. More chance of inventing the time machine. What are you referring to, RN? What are you referring to, my good friend? As you can see, we're getting a little bit of resistance coming in on this lower time frame point here. Obviously, where we found resistance here. We're retesting it now. Let me get rid of this zone. Let me draw it out. You know, a bit of low time frame SR here. Well, should we clear that? And then, you know, it doesn't really look like much to do until 118k. Maybe we get some resistance up here, some supply coming in out on this second leg down, but the main supply came up here where we had the original leg down. We then obviously come back up, and then that's where obviously we got the second leg down. So if I was just drawing this off the cuff, I would say, you know, potential for sell off there and there is where I'd be looking, maybe. Seems reasonable to me. But we are obviously currently rejecting at this SR, so yeah, we need to obviously come through and yeah, see what's what. What's what? Oh yeah, I've missed it. Bloody hell, I've missed it. I've missed the open. Good job you said that, Save. All that excitement, and I missed the open. Who are you kidding, bro? Big statement means big D and better B's. You are funny. So let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Maybe we should go down to the 1 min. The S&P sold off last night as well, wasn't it? That's probably maybe some of the driving force behind the Bitcoin downside. Maybe, don't know. But we are open. Maybe we'll go on a 5 minute actually. What we want now is I want to see this 5 minute close. I want to see this 5 minute close, and hopefully, if we get a green and then a green arrow coming in. Oh, blimey. Do you know what time the ceasefire? No idea. It's not on It's not on FX Street. Let me go and ask Grok. I don't know how to spell his name. I think that's it, innit? Oh, here we go. 6:15 GMT, which I think means I think it's an hour in front, innit? In the UK at the moment than So it's 7:15 UK time, I think. Oh, there we go. So we're starting to clear upwards now. We're getting some upwards movements. Is it? No, it can't be. Largest ETH shorts in history. About to get blown out by the looks of it. It can't be, can it? 6:15 GMT. Largest ETH shorts in history. Where have you seen that? Where's Dave Portnoy? Has it been tweeted out or something? Says live coverage from 5 PM on Sky News. Yes, it seems like I don't know. Oh, what? Oh, let me see. Yeah, so it's an hour later. So it'll be 7:15, I think. It'll be 7:15. Yeah, 7:15 because GMT's an hour behind. So if that's right, anyway, if that's right, what Grok is saying, it might not be. I don't know, but if that's right, then it will be 7:15 UK time. We're getting some selling off, aren't we? We're getting some selling off now. After open. Don't be nasty now. Don't be nasty now. Come on. Let's kindly walk this back up, please. So as you can see, we've got caught again in this zone. So this is definitely low time frame wise anyway, in my view. This looks like obviously the point in which the separation between expansion and then obviously remaining kind of in this range that we've formed low time frame. So really, if we break above and hold above, say like 115,700, it looks like we should start expansion to the upside anyway. I'll leave that Drew there and let's see what happens. Until then, obviously, we're capped at resistance. Good start though. I mean, good start. You know, for a reversal to happen, we obviously have to push out of consolidation into resistance, and then of course break that. But we've done that so far. You know, we've pushed up, so we're now obviously looking to break resistance and then begin expansion back to the upside. Seems the sellers are quite active around that area, yeah. I mean, the sellers have been in control of the market since... What day was it? Was it Thursday? It was Thursday? Yeah, Thursday, wasn't it? Yeah. So when we peaked up here and then dropped back below, this is obviously when sellers gained control of the market. We dropped back below. You know, we had all-time high. We deviated over, liquidated it, then dropped back below, and then this is obviously where sellers gain control of the market. Kind of just, you know, they absolutely dropped it. Then let it consolidate, build up, obviously longs, dropped it again. But obviously the tide can turn tide can turn. Was it around CPI update? It was PPI, Price Producer Index, but the market had already sold off at that point. So I was in a great short as well, you know. Honestly, I was in such a great short. I shorted 123k. I was short from up here, and I closed it because what had happened all week on Bitcoin and ETH is I'd shorted, and then the market would drop, and then it would just come straight back up and take me out at break even. So I'd got sick of that happening. I'd got sick of just like getting into good gain and then putting a stop at break even, letting the move play out, and then just getting took out again. So I got down to here, and I thought, right, I'll close that because it came into here, and I thought, oh, if it's going to bounce, it might bounce back up and then go back down. If I'd have held that, my God, I'd have printed so hard. But yeah, this was the PPI candle. This one here, this big nasty one. But we'd already sold off leading into it. You know, we'd already come back down to like 121k. Then sold off, and then obviously a bit later on, we put in the actual low, bounced, and then went lower, and then bounced, and then of course we've gone lower. But yeah, the market is finding it difficult in and around 115,600 at the moment, which is obviously where we need to rise from. But I mean, it looks like at the moment this is a Bitcoin issue. This is a Bitcoin issue because the S&P hasn't really done anything. We pumped on open and then of selling off, but this looks like a Bitcoin issue. So yeah, pretty nasty 5-minute candle there. So maybe sellers are still in control. But I mean, what you can say is over the course since Thursday, a huge amount of Bitcoin will have been sold off the market. To take the price down, you know, nearly 8% from here is obviously a lot of Bitcoin. So yes, Hala, how are we doing? What do you think of market right now, David boy? I am long, my good friend. I am long for a market reversal. I think 119.5, maybe up to 120k looks good. And then from there, we'll either put in a lower high or see, obviously, how good the momentum is. But that's the area I'm targeting for this week. So I'm kind of in a bit of a swing trade at the moment of looking for a reversal. And then, yeah, I think we either put in a lower high like this, or obviously we see how strong the momentum is and maybe come back for a new all-time high or test of supply up here or something. The two scenarios, but really my take profits are 120k, which is why mainly I'm looking at that. But I mean, to me it makes sense. If it's going to put in some sort of lower high, you know, bearish market structure, come and wipe out all these, come and fill in this PPI candle and then drop. If it's gonna, you know, if it's gonna go that route. What about you? What's your view? What are you thinking? I mean, really, you know, if the market's bullish and the ETFs are bullish on Bitcoin and Bitcoin and ETH, we should you know, we should reverse, shouldn't we, to the upside if the markets are bullish from here. Not too sure, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, anything could happen, really, couldn't it? Anything could happen. I favour the upside for me, even if it's for dead cat bounce you know, lower high, whatever. Even if it's for that case, I still I favour it for that. But could be wrong. You know, I was wrong on my trades on Thursday. I was wrong on my trades on Friday. So we'll see. Anyone notice TST? I see. You know what? Didn't that coin had like a really big run, didn't it? A while ago, it was something. I'm sure it was like. Is it on BNB chain or something? But I remember CZ tweeted about it, and it just absolutely sent nutty. Let's see. Yeah, just like it just went absolutely crazy, didn't it? But what do you mean noticed it? I mean, look at that. The thing is hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red months as it stands. But what are we noticing on it? This pump up from here. Bloody hell, look at that. What happened on the 7th of August? Jesus. What happened there? Either we still making new all-time high in August, or we already started the drop. Historically, September should see a drop. But historically, we don't see all-time high in August, do we? Or we don't see all-time high in July. I think maybe we did in 2017, but definitely last cycle we did not have the price action that we've seen so far. I remember we sold off absolutely massively in May, didn't we? May 2021, and then spent the summer consolidating above 30k, and then started the push to all-time high in maybe like August, September. We didn't hit the all-time high until maybe like October. So I don't think we can really look at. I think with the nature of the market and obviously Bitcoin cycle now, I don't think really like previous what data might matter that much, because you know we didn't. I don't know how many times we've hit all-time high in July or August. So I don't know. Let's see. Has the sell side settled down now? Just brace yourself. I'm always braced, mate, to be honest. I kind of agree with you, because we've got FOMC meeting in the middle of September, which I think could be a massive sell the news event if they rate cut. It's not that I disagree with you. I just think I disagree with you from a different standpoint. It would be for me because the rate cut ends up being a massive sell the news event, not because of historical data. But I mean, if you look at it in all, either way, maybe September ends in a red month, yeah. So I do partly agree with you. I think, you know, this price action that we're seeing now, obviously, should Bitcoin carry on upwards, would be, in my eyes, in anticipation of the rate cuts, and then it ends up being a sell the news event, which could be a pretty nasty sell the news event, really. But I mean, that's if we carry on upwards. We've not had the most interesting. I mean, look at the S&P is rising on open. We did sell off, yeah, didn't we, in the Asia? No, we didn't. Did we? Oh no, it was just that tiny sell off. God, Bitcoin's dramatic, isn't it? But yeah, we are pumping now, so we're starting to reverse this Asia sell off. Didn't even really sell off that early on, did it? Started up here. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin anyway. I hope it doesn't come down and sweep this low, that's for sure. But yeah, definitely, you know, we're looking on, obviously, this low time frame range that's built here. If we can break above 115.7, it looks like we should be on for potential expansion upwards. But we've sold off on open. We are starting to approach the 20-minute, 20-minute mark. So could we see, obviously, this be a dip? It's pretty aggressive, isn't it, the selling? Could we see this just be a dip and then we reverse throughout the session? It's pretty aggressive selling, though, isn't it? It is pretty aggressive selling. What do you think will happen when we don't get a rate cut, as the expectation says we'll have a rate cut? I don't know, you know. I don't know. I think that's another interesting point, isn't it? Is if the hype is all built up for a rate cut in September and they don't cut, and then obviously then attention shifts to, I can't remember if it's October or November. They take a break in one of them months. I think it's maybe November they take a break, but they don't meet for either October or November. I can't remember which one it is. So yeah, I mean, that's another interesting proposition, isn't it? Is if like this all you know this anticipation is of them cutting in September and then they just don't. What happens then? But we're starting to approach that half-an-hour mark now. So I would be keen to see if Bitcoin starts to ease up on the selling now. Obviously, ideally, we would see it start to ease up on the selling as it approaches the half-an-hour mark after open. The expectations can shift day by day. We might see 50-50 off. Well, the thing is, we got Jackson Hole this week, which is a really big economic conference in the US. Happens every year, and Powell will be speaking at it, as he does every year that he is Fed chair, which is on Friday. So lock in for Friday, 2 o'clock. So that'll be 3 o'clock. Yeah. So lock in for that, because that could be, we could get anything from there. So I think, we could either maybe get a hint of a rate cut coming in September to give the market some more confidence, or it could be same old Powell of, we're waiting to see the data, blah, blah, blah. The same thing that we've heard for since inflation peaked really and started to come all the way down. Obviously, any kind of tone of a rate cut could see us rally right into that September meeting then, and then it potentially is a sell the news event. But yeah, I mean, if he doesn't drop any hints and then we get September and he doesn't cut, yeah, I mean, what happens then? Is it then more build up into the next meeting or what? But yeah, so we'll see. I mean, we've not bounced from here. We've not bounced yet. But we are pretty much at that half-an-hour mark now, so are the ETFs going to turn the buying on? Very, very aggressive selling. Very, very aggressive selling. I mean, look at that. This one was walked down. You can see that someone was walking this down by obviously just like the slow sell-off. This has just been obviously just fast, aggressive selling. But we know where we need to reverse from. Should we go and test the highs? Sorry, we know where we need to break out from. ETH's come back into the. I mean, this could just be, it could just be a bit of psyops before we rally throughout the session. This could just be obviously the open dump leads into the session pump. I'm going to set some alerts though, because if we do start going down here, I will be a bit concerned. Aggressive selling can also lead to aggressive buying. Very true. Very true. I mean, it's kind of become the thing to look for in it is, dump on open, retrace after about half an hour, whatever, and then, pump on open, retrace. We also pumped into the open, so maybe this retrace was obviously obvious in hindsight. We pumped into the open, didn't we? We just dumped basically back to where we started from an hour and a half ago. But yeah, I'd be keen to see what happens here, because I would obviously rather it go up from here. But if we do come down, something we could do is just sweep this low and then come back up. I'd obviously rather it not do that. But I suppose that's one potential option. That kind of strong, I don't know, it feels a lot different, doesn't it, to like last week and the week before? Like, it was strong, wasn't it, with holding down and obviously reversing pumps and buying dips. The market was very strong with it, especially on ETH. Could we get that strength coming again? It's very, very aggressive. Very aggressive. Just more consolidation. I mean, we haven't had a single. We did. We had a positive 5-minute candle there, and then it's just been 5 straight down candles, hasn't it, in a row? After open. Well, no, we'll close that positive. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. Try and keep everyone updated in the Discord anyway on what's going on. Yeah, we're now at this half an hour mark, so we'll see what happens from here on out. It's brutal, isn't it? It is quite brutal. Especially for the fact that, like, to be fair, yeah, the S&P sold off, but that's where it opened. It opened there. It's only down like 2 points. Where Bitcoin is down from all the way up here. Oh wow. Oh wow. Right, that's the first half an hour done. That's the first half an hour done and dusted now. Are we going to get some strength coming back into this market or not? 1 minute to pump. Hope so. Hope so. Sellers have unlimited coins. Sellers have unlimited coins, it seems. Run it back. Anything on the timeline? Yeah, we will. Sellers' momentum's too strong. It seems like it, doesn't it? They've just completely slammed any relief that we had there into SR. We just got completely slammed then. But I think for how many times we've tested it, we'll leave this on the chart. I think that if we can test this again today, I think that's when it should break, really. For how many times we've tested it. I mean, all we did was come down and swept this low, which obviously maybe is where people had the stop losses under here. But yeah, thank you for joining me today. I'm very much obviously appreciated. Make sure you do smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're not. And of course, click them links in the description. Come join me on BLOFIN. We are also partnering with BitUnix. And of course, we still have 35% off annual and lifetime Stonksy subscriptions. That is automatically applied at checkout. That link's in the description as well. And I will see you all tomorrow for tomorrow's stream. And yeah, we'll see what we've got in the market. I will, of course, keep an eye on the market and jump into Discord. If we go up, we'll all be happy. If we go down further, I'll let everyone know what happens with this. I've got alerts set, maybe. I don't want to get taken out on just a sweep of that low, so we'll see. But I'll keep an eye on it. Thanks for joining, cousin Vinny, and any more newcomers. Everyone else who is here every stream, much love. Thank you for spending your time here again. And yeah, I'll catch you all tomorrow. We'll see what shape the market's in. Let's hope we can V-reverse here. Catch you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.